Hello, everyone. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the Gordon Rule writing exams using sources. Please make sure you take the time to, in detail, read the overview and these instructions very, very carefully. I will only do this as a review, assuming that students will have read the instructions several times and study them. In addition to making sure that students spend a lot of time with tutors, both in the SLC and also in the library, as the library tutors are experts at teaching students how to use their resources and to do research and citations, and make sure that they don't plagiarize. This is very important. So make sure that you do make those appointments. Also, too, be sure that you understand that you're using the library databases. You're not allowed to use any kind of sources outside of those databases. There's many videos and instruction in how to use those as well. And also, I'm available, of course, for any clarity. Make sure, in addition, that students decide if they would like to use APA style or MLA style formatting for their exams. These are formal exams, and so those formats need to be followed perfectly and exactly. If you, again, need help with that, the SLC and the library are available, and I'm also available for tutoring. Be sure that you study the rubric for grading as well. That's important to do beforehand and also to share with the tutors. Sharing the instructions with tutors is also very important so that they can best help you and they know how you're graded. So once you've chosen if you're going to use MLA or APA, make sure that you adhere to the guidelines. For the minimum word count, remember that a minimum word count is always a suggestion. You never want to go below it, but you should always achieve a little bit above so that you have maximum development. Don't go too far above writing thousands and thousands of words. Please make sure as well that students adhere to the topic. Students are supposed to research one very specific topic. This must be something that you are passionately interested in. So this is, again, a personal essay. You'll have very specific connection personally to this topic. It will not be a general idea. And your prompt is to answer these questions very thoroughly. What is one very specific topic you are passionately interested in? And explain how or why you became interested in this topic. It could be something very simple, like frogs. Who else would be interested in this topic? And that way you can communicate using terms like we and us, in addition to using your I, and connect to the why these people would be interested in this topic. So, for example, if it was frogs, are others who are interested in frogs going to enjoy reading this? Are people who are afraid of frogs going to enjoy reading about this topic because they'll start to like frogs after reading your experience? So be sure to be specific. Your introduction should clarify that topic, make sure that it is very well defined, you have a centrally focused idea, and that you are answering each aspect of the prompt. Make sure you do not summarize. Don't summarize a story, don't summarize your source, and don't summarize your reasoning. Be very specific, direct, and on point, and be sure to connect with your audience. Your body paragraph is where you're going to end up putting your quotes and your resourced information from the library databases. So, of course, the body paragraphs will be the longest paragraphs. Your introductions and your conclusions are always the shorter, more exact, and to the point. Please be sure that you use logical organization with transitional flow of the information. Have adequate support, and evidence should be very specific, very concrete, and they should be personal examples in addition to one researched example from the library database. So you will have, at the very minimum, two examples. One should be very personal and one should be researched from the library databases. In the library database, you're required to choose one direct quote. Please make sure that that quote is no longer than 3 lines. That's extremely important. Be very specific with which parts of the quote you would like to use. Don't just take giant sentences. So you must, of course, introduce your source, introducing the quote. Provide the direct quote no longer than 3 lines. Provide a correct in-text citation and weave the quote into your own personal thoughts. These are the ways that you can ensure that you're going to do this correctly, and also you can have the tutors check it as well. Make sure you avoid using quotes at the beginning or end of your paragraphs. Quotes should be used just like personal examples, where they're embedded and woven into the paragraphs. They're not used as topic sentences or transitions. Please make sure as well that your final page of this exam is, if you've chosen MLA, it's a works cited page, or APA, it's a reference page where you have correctly matching sourced information for your citation. There are notations in your instructions about plagiarism and how your grades are determined, as we discussed before about using the rubric. Additionally, I have very extensive information about how to ensure that you don't plagiarize and you correctly cite your sources. As we talked about before, making sure that you introduce your source, have direct quotations no longer than 3 lines, accurate in-text citations, and making sure that you weave that quote into your own personal discussion. So there are some examples that I've highlighted each part here for you so that you can follow it. Of course, your essay should not be highlighted, but I thought that would be easy for you to be able to follow the examples. So there's a few examples of just some basic paragraphs down below and some very specific topics of what they're explaining. So make sure you read through these examples very carefully and take notes on them. I think they're extremely helpful when you're looking at different ways to cite sources. So I hope this was helpful to review with the instructions for this exam. Again, if you have any questions, please email me directly, very specifically what your questions are. And I'm always happy to meet with students in Zoom or Teams as well to go through things personally, one-on-one, and review. Please make sure you are meeting with your library tutors and your SLC tutors before you submit any exams, as your exams are final and they should be perfected through multiple drafts, revised, and edited. Thank you.